Hey everyone and welcome back to another Tesla weekly video for today. I hope you're all having a wonderful week so far. I know it's usually not the day this video should come out, but I was in the United States, so couldn't always film whenever I wanted. I did experience some Tesla stuff. I had my first experience with Tesla FSD. To be honest, blew my mind. We've been talking about Tesla FSD on the channel for quite a while. We've all seen the videos, but when you experience it yourself in the car, you see the car drive, change lanes, turn. It's pretty incredible. It feels like magic. I have to admit that sometimes I did stress a little bit because, well, it's my first time. I don't know if I can trust the vehicle or not, but it did a good job. Zero intervention, didn't really ride that long, I think 20-25 minutes or so, but still quite good. I also saw a couple of Cybertrucks. To be honest, when you look at the picture, you're like, whoa, that's a crazy vehicle. But when you see it in real life, first of all, everybody takes a picture of it. And second of all, it's even crazier. I'll pop up some pictures that I took on the screen. It's nuts. I saw some Rivians as well, which, by the way, beautiful cars. To be honest, I can see them being very, very successful because they're good-looking, cool-looking cars. That's about it. And I saw one Lucid in the wild. So yes, they exist. Anyways, in this video, let's talk about the current sentiment with Tesla, which has completely shifted. Let's be honest, since the end of April, stock is up 80% or so. Since the last month, I think it's up 50%. So let's talk a little bit about that. Production and delivery numbers, expectations, some numbers from China and Europe as well. If you're new here, hit the thumbs up button, like, subscribe, do all of that. We're very close to reaching 50,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate all the support. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment with the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So last week, this came out. Of course, the stock jumped on this news because it beat the expectations. It was also better than Q1, which was expected. Q1 was a horrible quarter. Now, in the second quarter, Tesla produced approximately 411,000 vehicles and delivered approximately 444,000 vehicles. Now, that's already great. Better than expected, plus better than Q1, but also they delivered more than they produced, which means inventory has come down. Not only is that good, because while you have less inventory, we already have the best inventory stats in the industry, but from a earnings report perspective, that is also a big positive. With regards to the energy storage side, they deployed 9.4 gigawatt hours of energy storage products in Q2, the highest quarterly deployment yet. And that's an understatement. Because if you look at the difference between Q1 and Q2, it's more than doubled. Last quarter, 4.05, we're now at 9.4. Of course, we're not always going to get the full effect in the quarter. We will have to wait probably a couple of quarters until all of that revenue is recognized. Now, some analysts did add some comments here. So though Tesla only booked $1.6 billion in revenue from the energy storage business in Q1, the company reported a healthy $403 million in gross profit from the business, good for a gross margin of 24.6%. Highest margin, right, for the business right now. Plus growing extremely fast. Now, of course, we don't know how much they will recognize in the quarter. Really depends, but that significant of a jump, we are going to get that positive effect sooner rather than later. Going back to the Tesla sales overall, Model 3, Model Y, of course, still dominate. The other models, which right now are still S and X, and now a little bit of Cybertruck as well. Yes, it's true that the more Tesla ramps up the Cybertruck, the more the other models should start to go back up, right? We had that huge dip. Then we are now recovering a little bit, but with the Cybertruck ramping up, end of next year, of course, we're going to have the semi-truck as well, so that's going to help. But then you're going to have a Model Y refresh, probably. That's going to be for this weekend video. And then you're going to have the more affordable models as well. So right now, although this looks nice, Model 3, Model Y dominate, makes sense. To me, it's a bit weird that we cannot get full traction for Model S and X. I understand that it's more expensive, but there are other expensive cars on the market and they sell quite a lot. So I don't know, there should be maybe a better marketing strategy when it comes to the S and X. Moving on to a comment from our favorite analyst, Adam Jonas, blog post, of course. So the first positive surprise of the year. A show stealer from today's, so last week update, is the all-time record high stationary storage number, 9.4 gigawatt hour for Q2, which is nearly 2x their forecast. As generative AI acceleration spurs a multi-generational increase in energy demand, electricity generation, and data center investment, we believe investors will begin to pay more attention to Tesla Energy. I 100% agree. I mean, we all predicted that Tesla Energy is still being overlooked despite, well, showing quarter after quarter great results. But I do think that we're going to see, especially after the upcoming earnings report, we're going to see way more analysts talk about the energy side of the business. Adam Jonas, they think, well, right now they value it at $36 per Tesla share, so around $130 billion at the time of, well, writing that article, as the business uniquely positioned to benefit from investments in the US electric grid accelerated by the AI boom. So yeah, you can see that the sentiment has shifted quite fast. So I'm coming back to the point that no, I don't think that the 8.8 event is the major, let's say, catalyst. I think it's just a change in sentiment. I think now more people are looking at the energy side of the business and saying, wow, that can generate a lot of revenue, that can generate a lot of income for the company, plus margins might have bottomed, plus demand might increase going forward as well. Of course, do let me know down in the comment section below what you think. I also quickly want to touch on this rumor that Elon Musk answered false on. So the rumor is that Elon hired Uber's founder Travis Kalanick to advise or potentially run Tesla's upcoming robotaxi division. Can you imagine? I could have imagined, but of course he says here false. Now again, he says here false, could be false for wanting to advise or to potentially run. Maybe he could still be elected for a board. I don't know, depends. But I could see him run the robotaxi division for Tesla. Doesn't mean that he's going to be the chief engineer or something. No, it just means that he might be the guy dealing with that side of the business. I think he knows a thing or two when it comes to ride sharing. Then moving on to the Tesla weekly China insured number, they came in at 14,100. So yeah, week over week, we're down a little bit. Year to date, we're still down 5.5%. But if we continue like this, I think we could still reach the 2023 levels towards the back half of the year, depending, of course, on demand. If we look at Tesla Giga Shanghai wholesale by month and quarter, so the number for June came in at just over 71,000 cars. Yes, quarter over quarter we're down. We're now down 3 quarters in a row. We peaked in Q4, which of course was the highest quarter. If we look at the export number sits at 11,746, not that much. But overall, if we look at Tesla versus BYD, despite Tesla selling cars at a higher price tag, it's still dominating. Well, dominating. Still doing a little bit better than BYD. Then, so far, Tesla sales in China for this year are at 59,261. Yes, less than last year, not by that much as we've seen. Of course, it all depends on what happens in the second half of the year. As for the mix, we've got 69% Model Y, 31% Model 3 in Q2. Then there was an account on X, Chris Zhang, saying that Giga Shanghai seems to have planned a production schedule of 260,000 vehicles in Q3. Now, 260,000 vehicles means the peak here in Q4. Whether or not that will happen remains to be seen. Moving on to Europe, so Tesla sales in Germany, we know Germany very, very weak this year, only 4,648 Tesla sales in this quarter. Year over year, of course, you can clearly see we're down by quite a lot. Now, despite all the, let's say, negative sentiment towards EV in Germany, less incentives, all of that, if you look at the BEV adoption rate, it still continues to go up. It's the purple-ish line here. It still continues to go up, back over 20%. Now, despite all the negative sentiment for BEVs in Germany, incentives, all of that, you can see that the trend for 2024 is that we are improving a little bit. Not as much as before, but we are improving. So that's already one positive if you want to look at it from a glass half full type of scenario. Moving on to the UK, same story there, year over year, we're down. For this quarter, the number came in at 6,757. As for Italy, the story changes here, as we've said in previous videos. Tesla sales there for the quarter came in at close to 5,000 and were now much better than last year. Moving to Belgium, Belgium had 2,505 Tesla sales for the quarter, reaching already numbers better than Q3, well, including Q3 last year. Moving on to Australia, a bit of a weakness here for the quarter, 4,683 Tesla sales. Okay, let's see what happens here as well in the second half of the year. And so looking at the graph right now, finally in the last 2 weeks, we did make that huge jump over the 200-day moving average and breaking that downtrend that started back here in 2021. So that's great. But now on the weekly, we do have a huge gap here. Whether or not it will completely be filled remains to be seen. We still have these two circles here. One is the earnings report and the other one is the 8/8 event. RSI on the weekly is close to being overbought. Of course, if we move to the daily, then you can clearly see that we are overbought. But as we've seen with plenty of other stocks, Nvidia for example, you can stay overbought for quite a while. And again, with those important dates coming up, expect volatility when it comes to Tesla. And so overall, to conclude, there's definitely a change in sentiment. Now, whether or not it's because somebody knows something with regards to the 8/8 event or the next earnings report, I think it has more to do with sentiment has been extremely low. Now, with the production and delivery numbers coming in better than expected, sentiment changed already a little bit. Plus, people are now paying way more attention to the energy side of the business. So you got a huge change in sentiment. Plus, you still have the same amount of people that do not believe in the Tesla story, still think that Tesla FSD does not exist. So, okay, you have to balance it out. But overall, the sentiment has changed. Does it mean that the stock should have gone up so fast? I don't think so. I don't mind because it's my largest position. I don't mind. But am I buying today? No, probably not. I'm very comfortable holding what I have, waiting for the next earnings report, waiting for the next 8/8 event. The stock did go up 50% in a month, 80% in 2 months and a half or so. So yeah, keep calm. Let's see what the business is doing. Overall, that's about it. Do share your opinion and your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.